he would step across the line. Habitually. He's a habitual line stepper.
Terry, you make me happy. Thank y'all for listening to the Habitual Line-Steppers Podcast. I am Garrett Charles Langley Henson.
I'm Terry Ricardo DeShazo II. What is up, my guy? We're back again with another one.
Yes, sir. The NBA is up, Terry. It's been a week to remember. The climax of the NBA season this week. It all came to a head with the Golden State Warriors winning the NBA championship in 6 games. Now, Terry, I don't want to say I called it.
All right, hold on. So that's what we're doing. He's like, I called the finals, but all my other picks, I don't give a shit. This guy's the real Skip Bayless. He's like, no. I got Warriors winning the whole thing. That's not fucking true.
Hey, did I have the Warriors in the finals from the beginning?
That's cool.
Did I accurately predict who would win, the amount of games, and how it would happen with Jason Tatum getting 100 turnovers, with no one being able to dribble, with Otto Porter and all these different guys for Golden State turn into actual contributors and Boston's bench falling off the cliff.
Andrew Wiggins. That's the real MVP right there.
Yeah.
That, man. Jordan.
Did I talk about his offensive rebounding?
Yeah.
I don't know what else you want me to do. I'm goddamn near Vanilla Negro Damas out here.
Vanilla Negro Damas. Clap it up for Garrett. Now, the Warriors, man, they deserved it. They got another one. Potential dynasty or for sure dynasty. What was it? 4 and 8, right? 4 and 8 years?
4 and 8.
Steph Curry's got 4. He's looking pretty good out here in these streets. Him and his wife out there getting drunk as balls in the streets of San Francisco. Oakland's missing out on the celebrations, I see. A lot of white people are out there, a lot of Asians, a lot of tech money. But
a lot of cannolis. A lot of cannolis out there on the streets as well, Terry.
Yeah, man.
With Clay's holy cannoli remark, I'm surprised that they didn't come in like on a cannoli float instead of the bus. You know what I mean? I thought Clay would kind of be laying down in it like a half pipe, just waiting to get creamed on.
Who knows? Clay almost lost his other championship ring. Dude was running down and high-fiving people with his fucking hand down with the rings on.
Right.
Dumbass.
Motherfucker gonna be like the snake from Aladdin popping the stones out in his mouth or whatever.
Oh man, nah, that'd be wild as hell. Hey, look, but so the general consensus is this, right? Your boy Steph's got 4 chips. Finally got his Finals MVP, and all the talk is Steph Curry finally cracked up in that top 10 of all time? And I ask you, do you think he's top 10 or is he still on the outside waiting to walk right in? Because I think he's going to get it. Personally, what say you? What you got?
In the words of Neil Armstrong, this NBA Finals was one small step for Steph Curry, one gigantic leap for his legacy. This changed everything. This changed everything. Even though he should have won the MVP when Iggy won it, he never had the Finals MVP on his resume. And to see him actually turn up in the biggest moments and become a better version of what we've seen in the regular season is something we've not really seen from him. We saw moments in the Toronto series in the finals when guys got hurt, but this was the coronation all-time great player moment that we were waiting to see from him, where he took over when they needed him to. And it's so funny, like for all the greatest shooter of all time narrative, him hitting all these threes, you know what I mean? I think in the finals, he snapped his streak of hitting a three in like 240 consecutive games or something like that.
It was crazy.
The plays that I'll remember the most from this NBA Finals was when they were, I think it was they were like down 5 in that game 5, and Steph Curry got to the cup 4 possessions in a row, 4 layups, getting right to the basket. And that changed the game, that changed the series, and that changed his legacy. And he's not the same guy he was that got outplayed by Kyrie Irving in the finals. He's not that dude anymore. He's ascended to a different echelon, and he's 100% in my top 10.
Ooh, he's in the top 10 for you? That's tough, man. I mean, I think he's in the top 10 as well. But when you think about like who's coming out, I don't know, man. I mean, I think he needs another Finals MVP, bro. I think he needs another one from me. I will say this, just a question to throw out there. When are we gonna be done with this Bill Russell shit? When is Bill Russell finally gonna get the fuck up out this top 10?
Never.
I'm done with this Bill Russell shit. Bill Russell is a glorified Ben Wallace. He fucking shot under 50%. Don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like that. Bill Russell and Will Chamberlain, out of here. I think Steph's sneaking in there, and I think KD is going to sneak up in there. Now,
what was it? He won 22 out of 24 championship games he played in during his entire career.
Who, Bill Russell? Hey, yeah. Good shit. How many Hall of Famers were on his team?
Yeah, you go ahead. You take the guy holding up the picture of the 100 sign. All right. And
how many Hall of Famers?
That's going to be the thumbnail for this podcast. Is Jason Tatum holding up that 100 sign?
Turnovers.
Yeah.
Nah, man. Nah. Bill Russell's better than fucking Wilt. Like Wilt, I'm done with Wilt. Wilt, what has he got? 2 chips and fucking 10 championship tries or some shit like that. I'm not going to throw out numbers. Like, of course he gets crazy numbers, but no wins. I'm out of here on that shit. It's just like Steph is. I'm just joking with the Bill Russell shit, but Steph is definitely like, he's right there with like Hakeem. He's kind of right there with like, some people think Shaq or like Kobe around that range, depending on where you put him.
I think that's the best question so far. And for me, that's a tough one to wrestle with, Steph or Kobe. Because the ascension level, right? It's like forever we thought about Kobe as like this whole nother echelon higher than Steph. And how quickly things change in the course of a week. When we look back at their careers, Kobe had some rough finals. You know what I mean? Especially that one against the Pistons.
Yeah.
He rebounded. They got Pau Gasol. But I don't think, to my memory at least, I don't remember Kobe ever having a moment like Steph Curry had in these finals where it was like, I'm taking over as the best player in the moments where they need me, and I'm going to be the difference in the engine and everything around the team. He had Pau Gasol who stepped up. He had Ron Artest catching his air balls. He had Lamar Odom. Who was, handling the ball, eating candy, and smoking crack.
Crack, baby. Nah, look.
I think that moment is enough for me. Like, I might be prisoner of the moment right now. It may be happening. But if his career ended today and Steph Curry never played another basketball game, 2 MVPs, 1 unanimous, 4 chips, Finals MVP, and he was
most
the
threes
reason,
ever.
More than just counting the chips. He was the reason for all 4.
He's the number 1.
He was the reason for all 4. Whereas Kobe wasn't the reason for all 5 of his. Shaq had a big. He was probably the more dominant factor in 3 of those. So
in the first 3, yeah. But the thing, I will say this though, like revisionist history, definitely for like his last 2, he wasn't super great. There's no like moments for him that's scoring because that's his best attribute, right? But the first 3, there are moments in which he, put in some scoring performances where they won. But Shaq just, outscored him because there was no other center on the other side.
And usually Kobe reserved his best performances for the Western Conference Finals when they had to go through like the Spurs or somebody like that.
Portland, Sacramento,
exactly.
Teams like that.
The real best teams, then they get to the finals and Shaquille O'Neal put Dikembe Mutombo into the basket stanchion, and Kobe doesn't even matter because he doesn't need to.
Nah, that's true. We'll see. I think the thing, Kobe's got the longevity, so I don't think he's touching Kobe yet. I think Kobe's more of the like 5 through 7 range, and I think Steph is more of like the 8 through 11 type of shit. Shaq, on the other hand, his prime was very fucking short. Got swept a decent amount in the playoffs as well. So I think his resume is going to look a little different as we, kind of move forward in time, especially with the regular season, just 1 MVP. His scoring numbers aren't super, super up there. I don't even think he's in the top 10 as far as like all-time scoring, but that's just regular season and shit.
Yeah.
Steph's got the most threes all-time in the playoffs and regular season. Steph's got that unanimous MVP. You know, I mean, Shaq losing back-to-back MVPs to Steve Nash ain't looking too good for him these days. I don't know. That Shaq shit is tough. You know, he dominated, but that shit was very short.
I think with Curry, too, the more we step away from it and let it marinate and reflect on things, the more we realize it was always all him. Like,
oh, of course, yeah, it was, definitely.
We didn't give him enough credit in the moment, probably.
Yeah. Well, when he won those chips with KD, it's tough.
So let's do that, Terry. Let's do the KD Curry shit, right? Because
KD.
A year ago, Skip Bayless said that Kevin Durant was the best player in the NBA, and nobody batted an eye. He was a toenail away from knocking the Bucks out of the playoffs. He looked like he had returned to his peak of his powers. Golden State Durant. And it was blasphemous to even suggest that Stephen Curry was legitimately a better player than Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Here we are a year later. Kevin Durant looks like he's going to take the first red eye out of Brooklyn. His buddy James Harden has left him behind, and in his stead is an incapacitated Ben Simmons who hasn't dribbled a basketball in over a year. Kyrie Irving is on the outs with the team and has put out a list of 5 teams that he wants to be traded to.
And one of them is the 76ers.
And the team that he left won the championship without him. A year later, from having this conversation, where do you see Stephen Curry versus Kevin Durant?
Curry's leaped him. That's not even like a debate. Curry definitely leaped his ass. He's got 1 chip before KD, 1 chip after KD. See, the thing about the chips after a superstar leaves, that's like huge, bro. That's very, very fucking huge. And in a window in which LeBron is pretty much, I'm not going to say done, but you can pretty much start to put a fork in that motherfucker. All right, so LeBron's reign as the best guy that can take it over, that's done. So there's a range in here in which either Steph, KD, Giannis, you know, those 3 guys need to get their chips in while they can. Because right now we saw what? Warriors versus Boston. We didn't even really think those 2 teams were the best teams in the NBA. They both have flaws. Both teams have a lot of flaws. But Steph Curry getting his chip after KD left, it's looking bad for KD, man. He's going to have to win another one, and I don't know if he can with all this, you know, infrastructure problems he's having with the fucking Brooklyn Nets. Steph over KD's easy, dude, bro. KD's got what?
Fuck that. He'll have 1 is not enough, okay? What is that? The old J Dilla song? 1 won't do it. 2 is not enough for me. No.
Yeah.
All right. 1 won't do it, Kevin Durant. Steph, like you said, got 1 before you, got 1 after you. Okay.
Yeah.
1 is not going to do it. And yeah, go ahead.
KD lost a 3-1 lead to Steph's Warriors. You know, when the Warriors went 73-9. So Steph's got a 73-9 and a unanimous MVP. He's got 2 regular season MVPs to KD's 1. So KD has 2 finals MVPs, but Steph was scoring 27 a game. So it's not like he was chopped liver. I mean, if you take KD away, of course they probably lose to LeBron. Like LeBron was just on another mission.
But you take Steph away, and they also lose.
If you take Steph away, Western Conference Finals, they're out. Like their record without Steph and their record without KD was like totally different.
Yep.
While they were on the same team, Steph is the engine. We all knew that Steph was the engine.
Yep.
KD was just an added assassin. He wasn't necessary.
And so this is where we get to with Kevin Durant, because you look at the accolades and you look at the championships and you look at the scoring titles and you look at it on paper and you say, this adds up to being a top 15 player of all time.
He is.
But Kevin Durant tried to do his legacy like when you get stumped on a math problem in elementary school and they're like, well, why don't you work backwards and see how this fraction came from working backwards? And you can't do that, man. You can't join the greatest team of all time and then beat a bus rider or whatever, win 2 chips on it, and then be like, this has the same weight and merit as Giannis staying in Milwaukee his whole career and bringing a chip there. It just doesn't, dude. There are levels to this. And
I don't know.
Yeah. And right now, Kevin Durant's legacy is the best numbered second banana, the most talented second banana in NBA history.
Probably.
And
I don't know.
If he could take it farther than that, we'll see. But
you said he's the second best banana?
I think he's the shit. He probably he's the most talented second banana in NBA history.
Ah, man, I don't know if I could call him the second banana. I know Steph has the gravity, but KD was a better player. Not like individually, KD is a better player.
He was, but we're talking about it like in a vacuum.
Accolades.
Like what he does on the court. Steph Curry had the leadership and the self-confidence and the self-awareness to be able to take a step back and like give Kevin Durant the room to grow in the team, give him the confidence, give him those shots, those possessions, like
better question, better leader, Steph Curry or Tim Duncan?
Ooh.
I think they're in the same echelon, bro.
I think they are. I think, like I said this on the pod before, but though Steph Curry, Bill Russell, and Tim Duncan are the three greatest leaders in NBA history.
Yeah, definitely.
And
like
it's beyond his shooting will always be recognized as Steph Curry, the greatest shooter of all time. But what should not go underrated is Steph Curry, one of the greatest leaders we've ever seen.
He's up there, bro. He's definitely up there.
So we looked at like 10 years ago, right? Remember when the Thunder was in the NBA Finals and they had Westbrook and they had Harden and we're like, it's okay, they lost. They're going to be back here like 8 more times. And Kevin Durant versus LeBron will be the conversation for the next decade. Mm-hmm. That conversation is over, Terry. It's Steph Curry versus LeBron. So we've done Steph versus Kobe. We've done Steph versus Kevin Durant. It's time to do it. Steph versus Bron. This era has not been about Kevin Durant and LeBron James. When we look back in it 20 years from now, this era will be defined by 2 guys, Steph Curry and LeBron James. Both of them have 4 NBA championships. Both of them have finals MVP. Both of them have regular season MVPs. The difference to me is the leadership. Steph Curry made his team. Steph Curry pushed Monte Ellis out the door because he waited his time. He bided his time. He played hard. And then eventually the pieces came to him. And he showed them how to be all-time great players. He showed them how to become NBA champions. Whether it was building up guys like Jordan Poole, and Andrew Wiggins this year, or it was helping vets adapt their game like Leandro Barbosa and Sean Livingston and Andre Iguodala, who was super upset about coming off the bench at first when he joined the Warriors. And it was Steph who got him to buy into that role. And so Steph created this entire environment, didn't give up on it when they had the worst record in the league, didn't give up on it when they weren't invited to the bubble, didn't request a trade to the Heat to go meet up with 2 other All-Stars. He stayed and he made it work. And with Klay out for 3 years, he stayed and he made it work. And that's why, to me, Steph Curry is a greater player than LeBron James.
Come on, bro. Stop fucking playing. Stop playing. Stop clowning.
Hey, man, come on, man. That was some good Colin Coward ass shit, though, wasn't it?
It wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough. It's just not. That's not true. I don't know what to tell you, bro. He's not there yet, and I don't. Is there? All right. Hypothetically, because I am willing to say, shit, man. Like if Steph got 2 more chips, I'd say he's the second best of all time. You'd have to say it. Just accolades alone, and he'd probably win the Finals MVP, but. Because that give him 3 overall with 7 chips. That's ridiculous as fuck.
Does it not mean anything that he took the guy in Andrew Wiggins who LeBron cast away and was like, we can't ever win a championship with this guy. Get me Kevin Love. and in one season, Steph turns him into a crucial cog in a championship team?
No, that does have merit, but the thing about it is Steph is in the same vein as like Steph is like Tim Duncan and Bill Russell. Those guys are never going to be like the greatest of all time. Like Steph has the ability to do that just because of his point totals, you know, the way he shoots the ball, the way he's changed the game, shit like that. Like especially for small people in his position. But something's got to be said about having one of the best teams of all time and then choking that shit 3-1 to LeBron, bro. LeBron is a fucking
it does, but Draymond Green has a lot to say for that as well.
And also, there's another end of the fucking court where Steph is just not there.
But he's there now. Like, Steph right now is a better defender than LeBron James. What we just saw in those NBA
He's a good defender.
What we just saw Steph in those NBA finals is a plus defender. LeBron this season has walked around all year long, didn't do nothing on defensive end.
I don't know. That's true, but I'm not willing to say he's a better defender than LeBron. I think LeBron can still sit in the chair. He's just fucking chilling. He had a horrible team.
Here's the thing, man. LeBron, and this is breaking news, is a lot bigger than Steph Curry. And he's having to carry 70 more pounds around the court when he's doing this. Steph Curry, like, one of the things that people don't realize maybe about his greatness is he's probably the most in shape, fit player in the NBA. He runs more per game, more miles per game than anyone in the league, and it's not particularly close. And so when you get older and older and older and starting to get in your late 30s, that type of stuff matters, especially on defense, where LeBron has to kind of pick his spots and figure out where I'm going to empty out the tank. And Steph is like, oh, I got a backup tank. I got a generator. I was planning on running 17 miles this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different game. I don't know how to kind of compare what they do, though, man. Like, LeBron does more than just perimeter defending. He has to do perimeter and post defense. He has to get a lot of rebounds. He has to facilitate, and he has to score. He has to do it. For every single team he's played for, he's had to do everything. So it's a very different way of saying, like, Steph's a great fucking shooter, and he facilitates as well. But it's different than running around like fucking Reggie Miller, opposed to also, you know, having the 35% usage rate on your team.
It's different. Like, I don't know if it takes any less effort. Like that play where Steph Curry, he has the ball or whatever, he drives in, he gets under the basket, he kicked it out to Gary Payton in the corner, who didn't take the three, who set a screen for Steph to immediately relocate and get it back in the corner three. Like, is that any less effort in running than like having the ball in your hands the whole possession and running pick and roll 3 times? I don't know.
Well, how about this? You try fucking posting up somebody, you know, majority of the game, opposed to just jogging around. You know, it's not that hard to jog around, bro. We're fucking soccer players. It ain't that hard to fucking jog around. I run fucking 5 to 7 miles in a game every time I play. I don't give a fuck about jogging around in the goddamn NBA floor that's way shorter. I'm sorry, I don't. It's harder to bang with the bigs.
Speak for yourself. I'd rather bang with the bigs than jog around all game. Okay?
It's harder to bang with the bigs than me.
But the litmus test for Steph Curry's greatness is this simple to me. When Steph Curry came into the league, people were apprehensive about taking a point guard that was shooting like that.
Definitely.
Now, people are apprehensive about taking a point guard who can't shoot.
That's facts. No, Steph changed the game more than I think LeBron has, as far as just on court stuff.
Yep.
But I will say, I mean,
and if he gets one more chip, one more chip than LeBron, and we look back at all this, he changed the geometry. Basketball looks different in the future because of Steph Curry, has more championships than LeBron, did it all in one place, didn't have to continually go to 3 different franchises and have them mortgage all their assets to get a big 3 for him. In 20 years, when we look back, man, this might be a closer conversation than you think it is right now.
It's not a close conversation, and the only thing I'll say is this. The organization behind Steph is way smarter. They had opportunities to trade Klay Thompson. They never did.
Well, what did you just say? What's in the word? The organization. Not shuns. Not the Spurs, Cavs twice, the Lakers, and wherever LeBron is going to go next season.
That's not up to him. Look, Do you know where he played for the first, 8 years or 7 years of his fucking career?
Yeah.
You know where he played.
I do.
Fucking Cleveland. They wasted all of that shit. If
I don't want to hear
beginning of his
this,
career started off with a better organization.
Right? He had prime Eric Snow and Ilgauskas.
Stop. I'm going to hit you with this. You start off with those.
LeBron had prime Varejao, bro. I don't want to hear any of this. He didn't have shit.
You know LeBron trusts no one, bro. He trusts no one after that shit. I wouldn't trust anybody either. If I'm out here playing with fucking Ilgauskas, Eric Snow, Larry Hughes, Booby Gibson, Varejao, fucking, what are we doing here?
Don't forget defensive stopper Booby Gibson. Can't forget.
Yeah, I said Booby. Yeah. Drew Gooden. Come on, bro. They had Drew fucking Gooden out there. Like, this dude had no one on his team. Fucking Candace Parker's brother.
No, we know. It's different, man. Their greatness is just so different. Like, LeBron is the classic floor raiser that he could take 4 league average players with him and make the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
Steph Curry is the classic ceiling raiser in which he could take 4 good guys and put them over the top and make them unbeatable.
Steph can't do that.
Well,
Klay Thompson.
He just did, because when we looked at this NBA Finals, they did all the how many Boston Celtics would you take before you take the second Warrior if you were talking about the best players in the series? Oh,
they love saying
the Celtics had 6 of the 8 best players in the finals. Well, then how did Steph Curry and the Warriors manage to win in 6?
Well, did they have 6 of the best, or was it just a lot of baloney? What are we even talking about? I mean, the fact that like these metrics say that the Celtics had a fucking 82% chance to win the finals.
6 of the best, because let's do this thought exercise.
Al Horford. I don't want to talk about those motherfuckers.
Let's do this thought exercise real quick.
They suck.
Jason Tatum and Steph Curry swap teams. Who wins the final?
The Celtics are winning. Yeah. Tatum can't dribble.
So
that motherfucker's great in isolation.
So that's my point. The Celtics did have better players than the Warriors. The difference was Steph Curry.
The difference is the system. There is something to be said about having a great support system around you, bro. Steph Curry was drafted by the number 9 team. You know, the Warriors weren't horrible. They had went to the playoffs a couple of years before with the We Believe, went to the second fucking round. The Warriors got a good organization. They always get good coaches, first of all, because Mark Jackson was also a good coach.
Okay,
and before him,
here's another thing I'm sick and tired of people saying, man, making Mark Jackson this sacrificial lamb for the Warriors dynasty. The Warriors were going nowhere under Mark Jackson. He was not a good offensive coach. The only good thing that he did was establish their defensive system.
Yeah, he's a good defensive coach.
Basketball IQ is light years behind Kenny Atkinson and Mike Brown, the assistants on the Warriors' current staff. All this talk that, like, your boy Mark Jackson got so hard done, and he would have won a couple championships with the Warriors too if they just hadn't fired him, is absolute fucking nonsense. He would have starting David Lee, and they would have gotten knocked out by the Clippers in the second round.
You can just look at the 3-point shots per game for Steph and notice that it's a crazy increase when Steve Kerr got to the team, because they talked about that a lot. If Steph is and Mark Jackson said it, he said Steph is the greatest shooter of all time. He said that shit early.
Yep.
If he's the greatest shooter of all time, let that motherfucker shoot the fucking ball. You like making him shoot 7 threes a game. He should not have under 10 ever.
And for the rest of his thing that you talked about, Terry, that Kerr put in was the system that they could go back and rely on in Game 6 of the NBA Finals. That's like, hey, we're going to develop this derivation of the triangle that we can run against high-level defense and still get a decent amount of shots. And you know what? If we want to run high pick and roll, we always still have that in our back pocket, like they did in Game 4 and Game 5, where they add Steph Curry and Kevon Looney, killed them in the high pick and roll. But it's like we have this whole nother thing that we can go back to whenever we need it.
That's facts. And you know what? I misspoke earlier. I said 2 chips added to 7. I'm an idiot. 2 chips adds to 6 for Steph. But I don't think 6 is enough. And I don't think he'll get to 7.
It's just isn't enough to pass Braun. 6 isn't enough to pass Braun.
Bro, if he's getting both Finals MVPs,
is there Is
Maybe.
a holographic picture of LeBron's asshole on the inside of your glasses, Terry?
Bro, LeBron is 6-time all defense, bro. LeBron's 4-time MVP regular season. LeBron's got 18 combined all NBAs. Steph only has 8 right now. I mean, come on, bro. The fucking numbers are dumb, bro.
Terry,
LeBron's going to be no. Listen. LeBron's going to have the most points all time. He's going to be top 5 in assists. Steph Curry's best attribute is scoring. He won't be top 10. He's number 47 right now. Stop it. He's got the most threes. Cool. You know where LeBron is in the most threes all time in playoffs? 3rd.
3, yeah.
3rd behind Steph and Clay.
Yeah, because
come on, bro.
He's probably 2 in attempts. He's probably shot more than
33.
Clay.
Look. I love Steph. Steph needs 5 more years of being really fucking good. Like, chips do fucking matter, but I think it's going to get a lot tougher than what we think in the West.
He doesn't need 5 more years. All he needs is 5. Get you that pinky ring, then the haters can't say nothing, man.
He needs more than that, bro.
Haters
You got to look at LeBron's numbers again, man.
And Terry, the Warriors weren't done on winning the NBA championship. They're going to bring guys back. They got Gary Payton, who's a restricted free agent, who they can bring back. They got Otto Porter, who's a restricted free agent they can bring back. Wiseman's going to be a contributor next year, they hope. Moses Moody and Jonathan Kuminga are going to be in year 2. And last night in the NBA draft, with the last selection in the first round, the Warriors may have gotten a steal, Terry. Oh, guys.
Yeah, man.
We hit a milestone.
Oh, we 500 up?
Now, Terry, I'll probably chop this up and put this somewhere else in the podcast. Thank you all very much for reaching our 500 subscribers this week. It's an important milestone for us, halfway to getting monetized. We're growing every week, trying to do more and more for the pod and put on a good show for you guys. And we really appreciate your support. So we're doing a fan giveaway. All right. This week, anyone who comments on our video, you got to like it and comment it. We're going to drop you into a drawing for a free Habitual Line-Steppers t-shirt. There are only 3 of these on the face of planet Earth. Terry has one. I have one. And so can you. So make sure you guys drop a like, drop a comment. We'll enter you in for the drawing, and we will announce the winner on next week's podcast episode. Yeah, we can't hear you, bud. Yeah, still can't hear Terry. Of course, we have some mechanical and microphone concerns near the end, but it wouldn't be the Habitual Line-Steppers podcast without it. So, once again, like, subscribe, and then you too can be the freshest kid at school with my face on your titties. They drafted Patrick Baldwin Jr., who was the number 2 player in high school coming into this class. He had offers to play for everyone from Memphis to Duke to Kentucky, but he chose to play for his dad at the University of Milwaukee. Now, that went just about as well as you could predict, Harry. He was absolutely fucking horrible. Their team suck ass. And he fell all the way to the last pick of the first round. But the Warriors just picked up a 6'10 dude who could fucking score at all 3 levels, who was a blue chip prospect, number 2 player in the high school. This dude could be another Jordan Poole type guy, man, and a bigger body.
6'10"?
Yeah.
6'10" Jordan Poole? Nah, I don't see it. It's a good pick, though. It's a good pick. I'll just say this. James Wiseman better get his shit together. This kid better get his shit together or he's going to be missing a fucking NBA team. Or at least for the Warriors, he's done. I don't have much to say about them. Warriors are going to be great. Do I see them getting more chips?
It's just another piece, man. It's just like they never fucking stop adding pieces. And I'll talk more about this later. But
because Iguodala's done.
The Atlanta Hawks sold their pick in the second round of the Warriors so they could go get another piece. They never stop trying to take swings and acquire these guys, whether it's Gary Payton in the second round or undrafted or whatever.
It's not about who you pick. It's about the player development, bro. And they have probably
the best.
If not the best, they're top 5. Like, they're up there. So you got to just have a smart player development team. You can have the worst GM in the fucking world. But if you got a good system of, like, making players better, and especially with Steph's leadership has something to do with it as well. Klay Thompson's unselfish. Draymond Green is willing to take players under his wing, too. It's just a combination, man. They have a well-oiled machine.
They got a great culture over there, man.
Those motherfuckers going to piss me off.
Last pick in the draft to the first pick, Terry. Everyone expected that Jabari Smith was going number 1 to the Orlando Magic. All the betting odds had Jabari as the number 1 guy. All the reporting was the number 1 guy. And Terry, you said the day of the draft, you heard the Magic change their mind.
Yep.
And decide to select Paolo Banchero, number 1. Now, Terry, let me ask, 1, what do you think of the pick? And 2, who would you have taken number 1?
So the pick itself, I didn't think it was a bad pick. He's a really good player. Now, look, we know, and our audience, most of our audience knows that we live in North Carolina. Specifically, I'm from Durham, and I live in Raleigh. I've seen Duke play way more than any team this year. So, of course, I'm going to have more of a bias, but not a bias itself. I have more research, and I've seen way more games. Like, I know Paolo's a really good fucking player. The dude's a beast. He can pass, he can shoot, he can post up. He scores at all 3 levels. His defense is good. He's got good awareness on the defensive end, like anticipates steals and blocks very well. Dude's a fucking monster. So I think the pick is fantastic. And he's a guy that can kind of go straight in, and you don't really have to worry about him not scoring like 15 a game pretty easily. He can get shit on his own. He doesn't need people to like set him up to do things. Now, is that going to help him? Yes, of course. Also, you don't have to develop him as much as you would have to for like a Chet Holmgren or a Jabari Smith. So I do like the pick overall. Now, if I was the Magic, it either would have been him or it would have been Jabari Smith. But if I'm the Magic and I know my team is shit, like some of the young players, they got some talent out there, but my player development is garbage. I'm going to just fucking take Chet Holmgren. Like, Paolo and Jabari, a lot of people are saying like they can be like perennial all-stars. I'm not sure about that. I don't think they're going to be like top 10 guys in the league. I don't know. I'm not sure. So if I were them, I probably would have taken Chet Holmgren, waited another fucking year, see how he goes, and then see if I can get that knockout French guy next year. That's just me.
Yeah.
What say you?
I think the Victor Wembanyama is the guy you're talking about, the knockout French guy. Who's going to be the number 1 pick next year, who's Mark Williams size, but shoots threes and can bring the ball up the court and averaged 5.5 blocks a game at the what was it, the U20 World Cup or whatever, when he was playing all these guys.
He looks crazy.
He played against Jaden Ivey, Mark Williams, all these guys, averaged 5.5 blocks a game and dominated the entire thing.
Yeah, he looks insane. He looks like Lamar Odom on crack, straight up. But nah, he looks really good.
He does.
That's number 1 easy.
For me, I said before the draft to T, my girlfriend who I was watching with, she was like, who do you think is going to go number 1? I was like, Jabari, but I would take Paolo. Now, the reason I think they made the right pick and I would have taken Paolo number 1 is he looks like a dude who could be an all-NBA player.
Yeah, he's a beast.
He's coming into the NBA at 6'10", 260. He can dribble, rebound, pass the ball. There's a pathway to you being Ben Simmons at the minimum. There's a pathway there. All the best players in the league, or the majority of them, fit that type of body type, fit that type of skill set. And I could see him being kind of Luka-y, to be honest, in how he uses his strength and his frame and everything to overpower smaller defenders, and his patience.
He's good. He's good. He's not that good.
Now,
he's good though.
No. Not in terms of like manipulating the pick and roll feel for the game. I'm talking about just physicality, how he can come in as a rookie and impose his physicality. He'll be able to do that.
Maybe Melo at his worst.
Yeah, well, here's another guy who I thought fit the body type really well for him was Melo. I think obviously he's a little bit more of a facilitator, a little bit more of a playmaker than Melo.
Yeah.
But I definitely see like those comps. And Melo's one of these guys now that we look back on like he fucking sucks because he didn't win a championship. Like Melo led the league in scoring. He was the most unguardable guy in the league. And if he had been surrounded by different talent or in a different situation, he absolutely could have been an NBA champion. So, like, oh, do you really want to take Carmelo Anthony with the number 1 pick in the draft? Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
If Melo would have went to fucking Detroit, we would have been talking about his career differently.
Yes.
Also, Melo probably should have won the fucking Rookie of the Year when he was a rookie. He should have beat LeBron out. Straight up.
100% agree.
So I don't want to hear this disrespect. If you comp someone to Carmelo Anthony, draft his ass because that's a bona fide scorer. And Paolo is a bona fide scorer. When he wanted to, it's also weird watching Duke players under the Coach K system. It's a team system. It's not the same. It's not set up for one guy to dominate. So when you do see one person dominate at Duke, you choose them. And all the guys who dominated points-wise at Duke, most of them have been decent in the NBA. I will say that. Most of them have been decent.
Especially
starting from Grant Hill.
Especially since the one-and-done era started and Kyrie Irving and all those guys.
I mean, I was going way back, but yeah, definitely. I mean, Zion has shown you the shit. Kyrie, of course, we saw that, even though he only played like 11 games. Jay Will was looking good when he was there. I mean, they got Shane Battier, Elton Brand, all the dudes who fucking were the top scorers. They've ended up being decent for Duke. Grant Hill, all those guys.
Fair enough point, man. Bobby Hurley accepted.
I don't know if he was ever the top scorer, but I get what you're saying.
No, he wasn't. But just like Jay Will, he had a bad motorcycle wreck or car wreck or something like that too.
Yeah.
So Paolo goes number 1 to the Magic. That opens up the door for the Thunder to take their big swings this draft. And Terry, they took a couple of them. They took Chet Holmgren at number 2.
Sneaky.
The 7-foot, 190-pound big man out of Gonzaga, who Kendrick Perkins compared to if Kristaps Porzingis and Giannis Antetokounmpo had a baby. First of all, who do you think would be carrying the baby to term in that relationship?
God, it's gotta be Giannis. Yeah. Giannis is carrying it. He's got the body for it. He's got the frame.
If Porzingis is carrying it, they'd lose it, and it would be a stillbirth. He doesn't have the grit. He doesn't have the frame.
Facts. Bro, Porzingis can't be a second fiddle. He's not going to carry that baby. He's like, Giannis, you carry it or I'm out. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm done. But anyways.
So Kendrick, he said Porzingis and Giannis. I would say more if Al Horford and Jan Vesely had a baby. That would be more in line with what I'd expect from him. I'm sure all of you remember Jan Vesely, the 7-foot white guy who used to play for the Washington Wizards.
Yeah, right. Honestly, bro.
That wasn't their only swing that they took, Terry. They took Ousmane Dieng at 12 or at 11, trading up with the New York Knicks.
The Knicks traded him, yeah.
He's a 6'10" guy, a French dude who played in the Australian League.
Ball handler.
Yep. A lot of people are saying like Paul George potential or what was that guy who went to the Raptors? Bruno Caboclo potential as well. The guy who's 2 years away from being 2 years away. He could be either one of those. But that fits the bill exactly for the Thunder. Taking Pokuševski, a 7-foot tall, 190-pound shooting guard last year. Taking Josh Giddey, a 6'8" point guard.
Yep.
They like to take these big swings, and they're like, we're going to take swing after swing after swing, and hopefully 2 or 3 of these guys will pan out.
Yeah. Now they're looking long and strong out there in OKC, man. I liked it for OKC, That was definitely on brand for them. Now, Houston getting Jabari Smith, that's probably the worst case scenario for Jabari Smith.
Really?
To be honest. I think so. I mean, they traded away Christian Wood, for the kid. Basically, it seemed like, they traded away Christian Wood just to open up space for these 3 bigs that were coming in. Houston's player development is fucking dumb. When's the last fucking guy that got drafted by the Houston Rockets that turned out to be great?
Alperen Şengün. He's going to be an all-time.
No. And especially in the last 5 years, like they drafted the guy from Iowa State who's afraid to get on planes. So why the fuck would you draft his?
Oh my God, Royce White!
You remember him?
I forgot about Royce White.
Yeah, like they drafted Royce White, who said, "I don't like getting on planes," and then he was like, "I'm not going to get on any planes," and he ended up getting his ass cut. That just shows me enough fucking evidence where they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Royce,
I don't know who's still down there.
John Madden was going to be his coach, and they were going to take a fucking tour bus across the country and all the games together.
Yeah, bro. Honestly,
you're going to play 3 games a season when the Bulls play Milwaukee because it's 45 minutes away.
Yeah, dude. Come on, bro. Like, what are we doing? Bro?
But honestly, before that, it was probably Clint Capella. Was the last dude they took that was worth a shit.
Only good because of fucking James Harden, honestly, and he's decent in Atlanta, but very limited. He's limited big.
He's a limited guy. I disagree with you though, Terry. I really liked their moves. The Rockets, their entire draft, it was one of my favorite drafts in the entire NBA.
You disagree that the fucking Rockets don't develop great players?
I think that they can't develop great players with these albatrosses in their locker room, like Christian Wood and Kevin Porter Jr., who have
brother.
Yeah.
Listen to me. They drafted Jeremy Lamb, Royce White, Terrence Jones, Nick Johnson, Isaiah Cannon, Sam Decker, Zhao Q, another Chinese guy who went to Louisville, Dylan Brooks, and they traded him to fucking Memphis. Another guy I've never heard of. DeAnthony Melton traded him to fucking Phoenix. Josh Christopher, Usman Garuba, Jalen Green, and Clint Capella are probably the best.
Yeah.
That's
it. The best.
And they traded
the only 2 contributors. What do you mean the best?
That's fucking 13 picks. And they traded 2 that were fucking decent.
Yeah, it's time for a new era.
Since 2012.
Terry, this is why they fired their coaching staff and brought in Steven Silas to develop these young players. Brought him in from Portland.
I hope he can do it.
I tell you what, the first step, Terry, is clearing his dead weight out and these toxic guys in the locker room. You saw how much better the Atlanta Hawks got last season after they got rid of Cam Reddish, addition by subtraction. Christian Wood is going to be exactly the same type of guy for the Rockets, who's never been a winning player at any level, has a terrible attitude. Somebody described Christian Wood as I forget it was like John Collins on the Mavericks. No, it is more like John Collins with Hassan Whiteside's brain. That's how you would describe Christian Wood. And then they have
is John Wall still there?
Huh? John Wall's still there, opted in for $45 million next season.
Oh, smart move.
Didn't see that coming. I don't know who could have predicted that. But they also got to get rid of Kevin Porter Jr. And when you start
that's
you have a culture on your team of a bunch of young guys who don't give a fuck and there's no accountability, and they're like, we're just going to get this coach fired and do whatever we want to do, you're not going to develop young players. And when you see guys like who's their fucking power forward? Your boy's son who used to play for the Knicks, Camby Jr.
He's on that team?
Yeah. Not only that, Terry, he requested a trade 2 weeks ago.
Don't talk to me about
Houston. Lucky to be in the league as a backup power forward for a team that had the worst record in the NBA, and you're requesting a trade? This is what I'm talking about, dude. You cannot develop these young guys when you have this toxic culture already in place, and it was important they get this dead weight out before they can start developing these young guys.
No disrespect to Jalen Green, but I'm telling you, bro, this is not the place for your boy Jabari, man. Jalen Green was the primary ball handler, and he averaged 2.6 assists a game, bro. He ain't looking to fucking pass. He's not looking to fucking pass. If John Wall can give you some minutes, that might be good for the kid. Well, and I think John Wall has actually been decent.
I'll tell you this about Jabari Smith. It'll be a familiar situation for him because he had 2 of the most selfish guards in all of college basketball.
He did, and neither one of them are going to the league, right?
Couldn't get a fucking shot while we watched these guys throw up brick after brick after brick. So
while Auburn had 2 first-round picks and they weren't the guards, that's all we can say about that.
So, anyways, it'll be a familiar situation that he's going to in Houston. But Terry, you talk about a primary ball handler. They did also draft Ty Washington.
Did they?
Yep.
Did they trade?
They traded back into the end of the first round to go get him at like 26 or something like that.
I know they had the LSU guy.
Yep, they got Tari Eason as well, who's a terrific defensive player, a good transition guy, can hit threes. And everyone talks about Jabari Smith's work ethic, his defensive intensity, that type of stuff. You suddenly replace Christian Wood and Kevin Porter Jr. with Ty Washington, Jabari Smith, and Tari Eason, 3 highly competitive guys. And you might watch the development and level of competitiveness in the city of Houston go up dramatically this season.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, you presented your evidence, but I also presented my fucking evidence. The motherfuckers.
Culture around. I like the makeup of those 3 guys.
I hope so.
I like their makeup.
I hope so. I hope Ty passes the ball, because the worst thing I want to see is Jabari just shooting 10 threes a game, not doing anything productive at all. So, because he's good, man. He's a really good player, and I don't want to see him just fucking wasting his time down there in Houston and becoming a shit.
I think he'll be all right. I think Houston has finally got something to be excited about after a long time. And let's not forget the crown jewel of their entire team, Alperen Şengün. That's my guy, just in case you couldn't tell, Terry.
Yeah, you love these dumbasses.
Yeah. So,
but at least you go out on a limb.
Dumbass who got picked tonight, Terry, that you loved. Was there a team that you felt did particularly well, or a fit that stands out to you between a draft prospect and their new team?
I think Charlotte getting these big boys. I think that was very, very smart of Charlotte to get these big guys. Because did they not, if I'm not mistaken, they of course got Mark Williams, who looks decent. Not gonna lie, he looks fucking decent, and he was a sophomore or a junior, if I'm not mistaken. So he had a little bit more time to develop.
He's a freshman.
Was he a freshman? Are we sure about that? Okay, cool. But he looked good in college, man. He looked good at Duke. I mean, he took over a lot of the games. Like, his name wasn't supposed to be one of those top guys, and we talked about him, throughout that tournament run for Duke. He played really well. He was good for Charlotte.
I think let's stay with that for a second. So good. The Hornets, at first, I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? They picked the center Jalen Durant out of Kentucky or Memphis, and then 2 picks later pick another center at his same position, Mark Williams. Now,
I mean, they did need some centers.
It made sense because they ended up trading Jalen Durant to the Pistons for a future draft pick next year. It's going to be a much deeper draft. You're going to have the double draft of all the guys who could have gone one and done out of high school. So it's a double classification. Double is deep, or at least 1.5 times. I thought that was actually a pretty decent move for the Hornets. They'll probably be able to get a more talented player at 12 next year than they were able to get this year. And then Mark Williams, you get a guy who is the second highest standing reach ever recorded in NBA combine history, behind Rudy Gobert. He's a dude who's significantly stronger than Gobert. He has better feet. He's a better finisher in the paint. He can punish mismatches. And he wasn't allowed to show a lot at Duke. Pretty much just catch lobs, rebound the ball. That's it.
Yeah. He's 20 years old. He's not like Green coming in 18, 19. He's got a little bit of seasoning on him. I don't know. I think he's a good pick.
It fits.
He was a good player.
It was the perfect fit and prospect coming together. Before the draft, we earmarked Mark Williams and the Hornets. Before the even process started, said that would be an ideal fit. They got their dude. I think he's going to be an impact player for them. I really liked what Charlotte did in the draft this year.
No, that was a good one.
Is there anyone else who stood out to you?
The other one for me was that number 4 pick, your boy Ivy, sliding down. Well, not sliding down, but
he slid down the whole slot.
I liked him going to the Pistons, bro. Like, when he was going to the Kings, I was like, oh, the Kings out here kinging again. But then they kind of swapped that because they're putting other chips in the De'Aaron Fox, which is, that's fine. Whatever. At least you picked one player. Jesus fucking Christ. They just keep getting a bunch of dumbasses. Anyways, Jaden Ivey going to the Pistons, I think that's going to be sneaky, bro. I think that's going to be sneaky because Cade Cunningham is a very unselfish player. And I think he's going to let your boy Jaden Ivey get some shine out there. Now, he needs to develop more of a jump shot. But Cade and Ivy in the backcourt, that's got some potential in Detroit.
Ideal fit. I'm really excited about that fit, Terry. I think those fit like a hand in glove where you get Cade Cunningham, who's a primary facilitator and a playmaker. He's tall enough to pass over the defense and be an elite facilitator in a pick and roll. What's the big knock on him? Doesn't have elite go-to scoring potential. Well, you just found a guy who's going to be at the very top of the next echelon as secondary creators. I'd be super excited for them. Then they add Jalen Duran, who we talked about, who the Hornets traded them. The guys who those two guys were compared to, their player comps were Donovan Mitchell and DeAndre Jordan. And you add those guys to Cade Cunningham, Saddiq Bey, who scored 51 points last season. They have $18 million in cap space from the Jeremy Grant trade. Or actually, they have $10 million now since they took Kemba Walker back in order to get that Jalen Duran pick. I just think that they improved in two positions with impact players that have the potential to be bubble all-stars or all-stars for going forward.
No, that's true.
They crushed this draft. They hit a home run.
They did. Also for me, and I don't want to step over your toes. I know there's a good one and I won't say it. The Pelicans getting Dyson Daniels. Fucking fantastic defender coming out the G League, bro. Like, he led the G League in assists and steals.
Yep.
So you know he's not going to be out there looking for shots. The Pelicans already have enough scores.
Yep.
That's a fucking great pick for them.
And did you see who they added in the second round?
Nah, who they get in the second round?
We got EJ Liddell, who's a PJ Tucker type, 6'6", 250, multiple positional defender, can hit threes, tough, broad, thick dude that can guard bigger players. Another great pickup for them he's a dude who's like, you just watch the NBA Finals. He could play in the NBA Finals. I have confidence he will be at least Grant Williams. At least.
Yeah.
And
he's good.
That's a home run for the 41st pick.
Mm-hmm. And I got another one. You got one? Or you want me to go ahead and say
a couple more? Why don't you give me your next one, bud?
And my next one, definitely someone I wanted for my Knicks, but they decided to do their own thing. The sharpshooter and defender and athlete from Kansas, that motherfucker Agbaji.
Ochai Agbaji.
He's a fucking beast, bro. Going to the Cavaliers, that's a great pick for them, man.
Yeah.
That's a great pick
I think he's got a really good fit there as a guy who can play defense, dribble, and pass.
He can shoot. He shot 41%. He showed an ability to shoot 34% his freshman year and develop that shit into shooting 41%, going out as his senior from the 3-point arc. The dude can shoot. I mean, I watched him in a lot of games.
So enamored with the age stuff, man. He's 23 years old, which means
don't worry about
5 years older than Jaden Hardy. He's 5 years older than the guy the Hawks took from Duke. I forget his name.
Oh, Keels?
No,
not Keels.
AJ Griffin. AJ Griffin. Yeah. 5 years older than him. So that's like a whole second contract of value.
Don't get enamored. Don't get enamored by this age shit, man. Everybody kind of falls in love with this age shit and this new age. And I understand, but think about it.
Get enamored. A lot of you're the worst team in the league, like the Thunder, and you have 5 years to really develop this dude into where he could become an NBA player. If you're like the Cavaliers and you have 2 All-Stars and Jared Allen and Darius Garland, you don't need to take the young raw ball of clay and hope that we can mold them in 5 years. Take a dude who can contribute to your team, and that's what they did.
Yeah. Plus, look, man, there's 60 picks in the NBA draft.
58 this year because 2 teams lost their picks because of tampering violations.
Yeah. So take that. So for this draft, there's 58, but there's usually 60.
Yeah.
You're going to lose at least 40 of them because they just fucking suck. And then a couple of those guys might play for 4 to 5 years. You'll get lucky if you can get a role player. You'll get lucky if there's one guy to make an all-star team.
We see it every year. Every year there's a 22-year-old guy who can come right in and play in the NBA. And
don't
until the 20th pick. Whether it's the dude who the Knicks can't wait to get this summer, the guy from the fucking Mavs. Why can't I remember his name right now? Brunson.
Oh, Brunson.
Yeah,
Jalen Brunson. Yeah.
There are guys like Jalen Brunson every single year, man. And
Plus, I mean, riddle me this, right? We get that your boy's 23. Abaji's 23. Name one player that's even a fringe all-star besides Giannis that got drafted young and became something. And even stayed in the fucking NBA. That got drafted at fucking 18 or 19 is actually really good. There's not a lot of these young,
Jaylen Brown, Trae Young.
A lot of these young dudes suck. Brown was the fucking sophomore in college.
He was
Tatum
was the freshman.
yeah, but
he was the number 3.
He went to Duke. He went to Duke though. Tatum went to Duke. Like the fucking Abaji went to Kansas for 4 years. Oh, God forbid. And I'm sure Christian Brown might be decent, but I mean, at least
who he reminds me of is the dude who the Pacers took last year.
Which guy was that? Remind me.
Oh my goodness, the light skinned dude. He averaged like 17 points as a rookie. God,
not Brogdon.
No.
It's because he's old.
Chris something. I can't remember his name right now. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just fucking blank on it. I did a lot celebrating last night after the Hawks draft.
Well, here's the thing. I was saying though, like, and the funny thing is, a lot of the younger motherfuckers are not from America, and even the American guys usually don't pan out anyways. So it's just tough to say like someone in college who averaged 17 a game for a national championship team. It's not the worst pick in the world.
It's not.
It is what if he pans out, he pans out. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Whatever.
And
they don't really need him. They got 3 guys that are really fucking good.
If you can get a third banana, like that's a great use of that pick.
Yeah.
And
if you can get someone that is like fucking Otto Porter Jr., fucking congratulations. You get someone that can play the finals game.
Chris Duarte. That's who I was thinking of.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Duarte. He'll be someone like that who can come in right away and be decent at dribbling, passing, shooting, making shots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could be an actual
at the end of the day,
NBA player.
So that's what I thought did a good job.
Speaking of other teams that acquired contributing NBA players, I love what the 76ers did in this draft. They traded Danny Green and the number 23 pick to get DeAnthony Melton off the Grizzlies. DeAnthony Melton is going to be an ideal fit between Harden and Maxey. He's going to be that third ball handler that they desperately need. Fuck, he might even put Harden on the bench for some of these fourth quarter minutes and have him and Maxey out there. Possibly. He can defend. He's got a long wingspan. He can facilitate. He shot 38% and 43% from 3 his last 2 seasons. There was always like one dude too many in that Grizzlies rotation. I always thought it was going to be Dylan Brooks who was the odd man out. But shouts to Daryl Morey to seeing an inefficiency and a guy who could be had and going to get him, because I promise you he will contribute more to the 76ers than anybody they could have picked at 23 this year.
That's facts. Hopefully he does. I don't know. But you know me. I don't give a fuck about no draft picks, man. If they pan out, cool. If they don't, we fucking predicted that. It is what it is, man. So I'm cooling on it. Like the fact that the Knicks didn't get any picks. Of course, there's some guys that like I wanted, but at the end of the day, man, if we end up getting some fucking superstar, in this free agency or next year, cool. Just like when you have to look at the trajectory of what your team's going to be, and who you.
No. Let me interrupt you there, Terry.
And where you are in the draft.
What is the trajectory of the New York Knicks?
Not going to make the playoffs.
Can you be more specific?
They're not going to make the playoffs. They're going to be in the lottery. So, like,
who
are we going to get that's going
to an NBA that has worse prospects than the Knicks for the next 5 years? Is there a single team in the NBA who you'd not switch their future?
I don't know. Orlando's looking kind of shitty. I'm not going to fix.
They just got the number 1 pick.
You like Cole Anthony?
No, not really. I mean, he's like
you like Marco Fultz?
Not really.
You like Marco Fultz?
Man.
You don't like Marco Fultz?
Really.
You like Jonathan Isaac?
Man. I like Jonathan Isaac if he can stay on the court.
He's shit. You like Wendell Carter Jr.?
I like Wagner. I like Wendell Carter. I like
they're garbage.
I like Chulo.
I like RJ Barrett.
You think RJ Barrett is of the same value as Paulo Banchero? Are you high?
Who knows?
Crack? See, this is the tinted Knicks heart shades.
Come on, and
everything through these lenses. The Knicks.
I just said one name. I didn't say anybody else.
Last summer and spent $100 million on guys that they now acquired 3 first-round picks so they could attach them to those contracts and get rid of them. They don't have a single player on their roster who could develop into an all-star, and you could even see it. Julius Randle was taken to Supermax, and he's regressing harder than any player in the NBA. You have Evan Fournier making $20 million a deal. You just attached
We're trading him
to get rid of Kemba Walker. Nerlens Noel plays 12 games a season. Taj Gibson's 48 years old. Derrick Rose went with Dave Chappelle on a sabbatical to Africa in the middle of the season.
Listen, you're not listening. You're just hating.
I'm not hating. This is all fact. Everything I just said is a fact.
Listen, why do you think I only said one name? I didn't say anybody else's name. I didn't say no one else's name. I just said one fucking name. I like RJ Barrett. If you can score 20 points a game in the NBA, you're a good fucking player.
Terry, I take it all back. You guys do have Cam Reddish.
We don't know who he is because Tom Thibodeau. Also, Mitchell Robinson is very similar to Robert Williams over there in the Celtics. He just keeps getting hurt the same way that Robert Williams always spraining his ankle. It's the same type of shit. And he's young as fuck. He got drafted at like 18. If you can give me a player that can score 17 points a game on a playoff team, I'll take that fucking kid. Name me one Orlando Magic guy that can score 17 on a playoff team, not fucking 17 on a team that's going to win 25 games.
Wagner. Banchero.
No. Got to see it.
Well,
we got to see it.
He hasn't played a minute in the NBA yet.
Bro, listen to me. This is the thing I got to say about Orlando. It is fucking fantastic to acquire a lot of young players. The only team that I can think of in recent history to go to the playoffs with mostly young players was fucking OKC. And you know why? Russell Westbrook is a top 50 NBA player, and Kevin Durant is a top 15 NBA player.
So you don't remember when the Hawks won the Eastern Conference Finals last season? You don't remember that?
You bubbled up, did you not? Was that some bullshit?
No.
That was 1 year after the bubble. Was still no fucking fans.
What y'all look like off the lob in game 1 until the referees injured our best player. No, that wasn't some.
What'd you look like this year? What'd you look like this year? What'd you look like this year?
Nate McMillan.
Okay. All right. Everyone knows it's a fluke except for you. You still got all this fucking faith in these goddamn Hawks. When you goddamn know
you're the person
that every team was
out here advocating for the Knicks where they have literally a bunch of sub-average NBA players, and that's the whole roster is a bunch of guys who are
not advocating.
And there's the hope for the future. Where's the prospect that he's 18, but he could develop into this in 5 years? There's nothing.
I advocated for one player, RJ Barrett, and that's it. All right, so stop saying all the. You can say whatever you want about the other guys, and you're completely right.
The Knicks got the worst situation in the NBA, and they did nothing last night to make it any better.
We got picks.
It's time to talk about those picks. It is time.
No, I'm out. Let's talk Hawks.
No. Don't you try to flip it now. You opened this Pandora's box talk about the Knicks. Now we're going to put our foot in it. All right?
AJ Griffin.
They started the night with the number 11 pick.
AJ Griffin. What? Yo, listen to me. Who are you going to take at 11? If you were the fucking GM, who are you taking?
I would have taken AJ Griffin.
And what the fuck is he going to do for us? We need a fucking point guard, man.
You need everything, Barry. You need everything. You have one point guard on your whole team. You need everything.
No. If we weren't going to get Jaden Ivey, that's why we were vigorously trying to trade up to 3 or 4, but no one let us.
First of all,
then fuck it.
All the reports say that AJ Griffin can be an all-star player and that he is the second most scoring potential in this entire class behind Jabari Smith. That's what every report said.
Listen to me.
Dad played in the NBA 10 years. His mom was a collegiate track star. He led the NCAA in three-point shooting this year. He
can shoot the three.
He has a 7-foot wingspan. He's a 3-level scorer.
Bro.
Did I not say before this draft on wax that I thought he'd be the best out of the two guys? Did I not say that?
Did somebody say that about Cam Reddish, or am I confused?
I also said that about Cam Reddish. I did also say
Yep. Hold
Oh
on.
no! I said
someone
Zion was
said
going to
that
be better
about
than him.
him.
I said Zion was going to be better, but I did say he'd be second best. I did say,
All right. I was like,
I did say that.
the only thing I'll say is I like AJ Griffin. But it does give me cause for pause that he wasn't that great at Duke. Now, there's a pecking order. I understand as far as like talent and the point guards have to dribble and they got the ball, majority of the time in college. He can shoot the fucking lights out. And I think Atlanta might be a good situation for him, but I don't think he would have been the right person to go to the Knicks because their situation is all fucked up. I think him going to the Hawks is a good situation for him. I think he'll be good there. It's also about fit.
Terry, you could have taken Mark Williams. You could have taken Tari Eason. You could have taken.
We got Mitchell Robinson.
A ton of people.
You know
what you couldn't have, you know what you shouldn't have done is trade the number 11 pick in the draft for future first rounders. They're not even going to convey into first round picks. Most likely these picks are going to convey into 2 second-round draft picks. The only first rounder that you're going to get is the Wizards' choice in 2025.
So you don't like Mitchell Robinson?
I like him for $2 million a year as a backup big who can't stay on the court. Do I like him as a championship center? No.
Time will tell. Time will tell, brother. Time will tell. I'm just saying.
It's asset mismanagement, man. And here's my thing. I'm just going to get right into it. All right. The Knicks paid 4 second-round picks to the Pistons to get off Kemba Walker's contract. 4. Genius. You could have
absolutely.
You could have amnestied him for free and kept all those picks. Genius.
We don't need them second-round picks. We're not a good organization. We're not going to do anything with them. What? The best second-round pick we've ever had was fucking Landry Fields, and he looked good for one half of a season.
Let me tell you. So this is what the Knicks did. They turned a lottery pick in the draft in which there were multiple guys who have potential to be legit contributors in the NBA Finals. They passed on all of that so that they could get a late first-round pick in 2 seasons and trade 4 second-round picks to get rid of Kemba Walker.
We got OKC's first-round pick.
No, you don't.
In 2 seasons.
No, you don't. You have the Pistons and you have the Wizards.
We got false information.
Nope, it's not.
False
information.
You don't have
you traded that. You made so many fucking trades, Terry. You made 11 trades. The New York Knicks did. They traded 11 picks during this draft, and they did not select a single player.
The New York Knicks. I like that name better than the fucking New York Knicks. The fucking New York Knicks. It's like goddamn dicks to our fan base. You know what, bro? I don't give a fuck what you're talking about. I really don't. I really don't give a fuck what you're talking about. All I know is this. If we didn't get Jaden Ivey, I'm totally fine with getting no one. I'm fine with it, bro. We need a fucking point guard. AJ Griffin, look, listen to me. Great fucking player. Don't get me wrong. But if it's AJ Griffin, RJ Barrett, Cam Reddish, Obi Toppin, fucking Alec Burke, and some other motherfuckers that can't shoot and can't dribble, that is one of the worst teams in the fucking world. They can't dribble.
Mark, I understand that, but that can't stop you from drafting players just because your team already sucks. If anything,
if Mark Williams goes to the Knicks, the fuck is he going to do there? We don't have a point guard to give him the fucking ball.
I'll tell you exactly what he does there. He gives you
tank.
Huh?
Tank it up.
That's what you should be doing. But Terry,
Julius Randle is going to punch whoever we drafted anyways in the face.
That's what they should be doing.
Julius Randle's going to punch.
But this is what they're actually doing. The whole purpose of making that trade to get those 3 first-round picks that will likely not be first-round picks was so that they can attach those first-round picks to Derrick Rose, to Kemba Walker, to Evan Fournier, to Alec Burks, or to Nerlens Noel, so that you can clear cap space to sign Jalen Brunson to a max deal this summer, Terry. They hired Jalen Brunson's dad to be their assistant coach.
Heard about
They
it.
made all these moves. It's been reported and reported and reported. They're all in to give Jalen Brunson a max contract. And this is what you do all this for. We don't take a player at 11. We deal 3 picks so we can take a not top 50 NBA player and pay him a max deal. Now, what I would have done if I was the New York Knicks, you saw how the Sacramento Kings were agonizing over the De'Aaron Fox, Jaden Ivey fit. We've seen the Kings have been willing to trade Fox for many seasons now, and the New York Knicks have coveted him for a couple of years already.
We tried to get the fucking pick. They didn't give it to us.
Don't get the pick. Get Fox. Let them keep the pick and take Ivy. You give a pick to get Fox back. I would much rather pay Fox $30 million a year and have these other 3 first-round picks than pay it to Jalen Brunson and not have any of these picks. Does that make any sense to you, Terry?
Let me tell you something. I don't think you're completely wrong. You are not. I think you're.
And that would have helped.
You have a lot of
because the Kings are like, we can't take a 4th point guard in 5 years. You know what I mean? We just can't take.
No, that's true.
Put him next to Fox.
Look,
But
you got to
seen the Fox movie in Sacramento, and they're ready to go see the Jaden Ivey one, and they had a chance to do that, and everyone could have been happy.
You got a lot of validity in the way that you're speaking, but I will tell you this: there's a 365 days out of the year, 366 on a leap. For some reason, the Kings, they get all fucking dumb on draft nights. All of a sudden, yesterday, they said, no, we want fucking De'Aaron Fox to be our franchise fucking player. They just said that yesterday for no fucking reason. When we wanted to trade to get that fucking pick and we wanted Jaden Ivey. Now, that's a fucking fact. And for some fucking reason, they didn't give us the pick. So once that went awry for us, we just said, fuck it. We said, fuck it, blow it up. Get rid of every single fucking guy we don't like. Fuck the picks. We're just done. They're cooked. What are they going to do?
Yeah.
If we go in with a plan and it doesn't work, I don't give a fuck. Like, Mark Williams is not doing shit.
Hey, but
what's he doing next to Julius Randle all season?
Terry,
bro?
I would much rather pay Mark Williams $4 million and have him under contract for the next 4 years than pay Jalen Brunson $30 million.
Everyone not named a good point guard would have been a waste of a pick.
So get De'Aaron Fox. That's my point. Go get De'Aaron Fox. And if
we tried.
You didn't try. You tried to get Ivy.
I'm telling you.
No, you didn't. Terry, read the fucking reporting, bro. You didn't. There were no talks for Fox. The talks were to get the pick for Ivy.
That's because they said Fox was untouchable.
Like, it's not untouchable. And if anything,
they said Fox was untouchable last night.
Terry, they never said Fox is untouchable. If anything, he is more touchable than Macaulay Culkin in Michael Jackson's home bed because the Pacers, if you remember on the bonus trade, they tried to give Fox to the Pacers and they said no, we want Halliburton. They couldn't give Fox away, so don't give me this untouchable crap.
I'm telling you, yesterday De'Aaron Fox was like LeBron James in his prime. They weren't trying to give this kid away.
Well, Sacramento, you managed to fuck yourself in the ass. Now you take Keegan Murray at 4, a dude who everyone had going 7. You could have traded down 1 pick, got another asset, picked Keegan Murray at number 6, and got another first-round pick next year. You could have traded De'Aaron Fox to the Knicks and taken Jaden Ivey and gotten a premier pick back. But no, they decided to take the 7th or 8th best player in the draft at number 4, and it's yet another offseason in Sacramento where they become completely retarded on draft day.
Sacramento's trash. Manchester City's owner couldn't save Sacramento. Like, Sacramento doesn't give a fuck about basketball anymore. You know, that move Sacramento to Seattle. It's done. We should revoke them. Like I said, when I made up these rules, I said if a team does not make the playoffs in 10 years, you have to give up the team. You have to. Your team is up for relocation.
You should have minimum have to sell it. You should have minimum have to sell it.
After 10? 10 is crazy.
I got you. And listen,
10 is absolutely
you're not
insane.
an owner that is committed to doing everything you can to improve your team, then don't buy a team in the NBA.
Yeah,
now, Terry,
come on, bro. What are we doing?
We're finally going to get to my Atlanta Hawks now because I had moments of great happiness and I have moments of great frustration. And let me start with the moments of great frustration. Talking about ownership, invest in whatever it takes to improve the team. We sold the number 41 pick in this draft to the Golden State Warriors, who have the largest tax bill in the NBA, who are doing everything they can, regardless of the cost, no matter how prohibitive. We will improve this team to contend next year. We will pay the Atlanta Hawks $3 million to get another player who could possibly become a Gary Payton, another player who could possibly become a contributor at the end of the season. I think, Terry, this is now the 16th or 17th time in my lifetime the Atlanta Hawks have drafted cash considerations with one of their picks. We did this when the Atlanta Sports Group owned the team and they owned the Atlanta Thrashers. They did this when they had the other guy come in and Danny Ferry was making disparaging remarks about Luol Deng. And now we finally get a new owner who says, I'll do whatever it takes. I'll spend the money. I'll pay the luxury tax. There is nothing that I won't do to make this team a contender. And what do? They turn around and sell the 41st pick to the NBA champions, who I can almost promise will find a rotation player out of there.
Oh, yeah, of course they will. But I don't know about you guys. What are you guys going to do? What are y'all doing this year? What are the Atlanta Hawks doing this year to make yourselves a contender, bro? Because you guys were in the playoffs.
Well, if you guys want to find out more about that, you can go to www.thehlspod.com. I have an article right up now detailing what I would do if I was the GM of the Hawks this offseason. But they started last night with the number 16 pick, and they took A.J. Griffin out of Duke, who we briefly discussed, Terry. They said he had bad hips. They said he got injured a lot in high school and college. I said he led the NCAA in three-point shooting, that he was extremely efficient at the rim from mid-range and from deep, that he is a 7-foot wingspan, that he is 6'7" with Jimmy Butler's frame, and that he can dribble and that he could shoot. I think this dude, out of everyone in the outside of the lottery, has the biggest chance to be an all-star in the NBA. And I was very, very happy that he was available for the Hawks to take him there at number 16.
Yeah, I think you're right. Probably out of everyone, not in the lottery, he probably has the best chance of doing it. I don't know, man. I think he's a good fit for y'all. I hope that he works as a wing because, unfortunately, I won't say that your picks were bad.
They were. You could say it. They've tried this now with Kevin Huerter, who's 6'7", with DeAndre Hunter, who's 6'8", with Cam Reddish, who's 6'8". They know the formula. Get a long dude who can play defense and can create next to Trae Young. The problem is finding that guy.
Well, that's the thing, though. What are you supposed to do when you draft somebody that's supposed to be fucking good? Like the Pelicans. They drafted Zion. Dude he showed you he was a fucking really good player. And every time DeAndre Hunter is healthy, he plays really well for y'all. I think he does for a majority of the time, at least 60 to 70% of the time, he plays really well for the Hawks, I think. For my eyes. I'm objective though, so it's different. Cam had flashes. Were you drafted the top player in that spot. You made no mistake. You got the person. They just didn't play well. That's not on you. They got hurt a decent amount. That's not on you. I feel like the GM drafted the guy that was supposed to be good. The Trae Young Lucas shit, that's why.
Terry, there's been some conspiracy theories swirling in the Hawks Twitter sphere. And one of those conspiracy theories involves the San Antonio Spurs. AJ Griffin worked out 9 times for the San Antonio Spurs coming up to this draft. 9 times. And before the draft, the Atlanta Hawks and the Spurs had been engaged in hours in trade discussions centering around John Collins and Dejounte Murray to bring Dejounte Murray to the A. So many people have posited out there that it's possible that the Hawks took A.J. Griffin to eventually be traded to the Spurs, as they knew that he was their highest rated prospect, and that him and Collins are going to actually be the make weights for a Dejounte Murray blockbuster trade. What would you say to that?
That would be interesting. That would be interesting as fuck. But I don't know. Keep AJ Griffin, man. Stop making it complicated. Let the motherfucker play, bro. Dudes can shoot, man. Unlike Cam with his streaky shit. Shit, you know what? We can't even say anything. We saw Cam shoot lights out in college, so it's tough.
We saw him make big shots, but he shot 31% from three when he went.
Totality?
31%.
All right, I'd have to take a look at that again.
AJ Griffin, 43.5%.
40. Yeah. He can shoot. I don't know. We'll see, bro. He's got a weird stance. He's
got a wide base. He does have a wide base
jump shot
for his shot. I noticed that as well. But
it's a weird jump.
When you get guys who are being comped to be somewhere between Devin Booker and Jimmy Butler with the 16th pick, and the question is his injuries, I think that's a pretty good swing to take. And
I like it.
I was happy the Hawks picked him. The last two guys I want to talk about are the Spurs. They drafted one of my favorite players in the entire draft, Jeremy Sohan, with their first pick. I think it was number 6. He's the Ben Simmons-like dude on defense who's 6'10", can guard all 5 positions, has tremendous instincts, excellent rebounder, great in transition. Defensively, a mix between Tybal and Ben Simmons, who's bigger and can play center. That's who they took. Then they got Malachi Branham with their second pick, who's a 3-level scorer in college, who's efficient at every level, was a good defender. Every year, dude, we just see the Spurs get these guys, and they're like, oh, yeah, that's going to be a great pick. Oh, yeah, they did it again. I'm very happy for them. And even though the Spurs might be the most boring team in the NBA, I think that's going to be changing pretty soon as they stop letting Josh Primo take 20 shots a game.
You know what? I think I'm going to die on this hill.
Okay, let me hear it.
Nah, I'm going to die on this hill. I think DeJounte Murray, great pick. Lonnie Walker the 4th, decent pick.
Potential.
Everybody else they drafted in the
flashes, nothing more.
Yeah, hurt. Some of those other guys.
I like. Wait a minute. I like Keldon Johnson a lot. I think he's a really solid.
Yeah, he's okay.
He's okay. I like the other dude that they got, the 3-and-D guy. They took I can't remember his name now. But he's really good.
I'm not sure.
He's like another 6'9", 3-and-D guy they took 2 years ago.
No.
I like Pirtle.
Yeah, he's okay. Here we go, brother. I'm dying on this hill. Everyone past AJ Griffin, they're not going to do shit. They're not going to do anything.
Yeah, you're going to die on that one.
I don't care.
You're going to die on that one.
Everyone past 16?
There's always one dude in the second round who pops.
Not a single one of them. I bet everything I own.
What about Wendell Moore? You couldn't see him being a contributor? You couldn't see him sliding
maybe
the Mavs playing some minutes there?
But he went to Minnesota. I'm still not sure if Minnesota has great development, tools. He'll
play
good.
A lot, though, because they're not going to re-sign Beverly, and they're sick of fucking D'Angelo Russell. So he'll get minutes.
The problem with Wendell Moore is he's not significantly better at shooting the basketball than Patrick Beverly. So it's like,
no, he's not. He is.
What are we
30
doing?
pounds bigger than him and 10 years younger. So
he can drive. He's one of the better drivers. Him and Trevor Keels are one of the better drivers. I will say Trevor Keels, I think, will be okay at driving.
Hey, shout out to Duke,
I don't know
man.
if he's gonna...
Duke, they had 4 first-round picks this year. Banchero went 1, Mark Williams went 15, AJ Griffin went 16, Wendell Moore went 26, and then Trevor Keels, who we were just talking about, went 42 in the second round. 5 players drafted in the first 42 picks.
Nah, we said it.
They not make it to at least the Final Four. Jesus Christ!
I told you, bro. They did. They made the Final Four. That was the Final Four.
Yeah, that's right. And then UNC swept them home. That's right.
No, I think Coach K choked that one, bro. But those guys, they're just not good at defense. Now, when you got 5 NBA players, probably 6 or 7 on your team, you should win it. They just honestly were not good defenders. That's the only problem with those guys. even Trevor Keels and fucking, Moore and fucking Banchero and AJ Griffin, they're not good defenders.
Not yet.
Played a lot of zone.
Well, Terry, Kendrick Perkins made some noise during the draft with his player comparison for Trevor Keels. He compared Trevor Keels to Desmond Bain.
What?
Desmond Bain was watching the draft and clapped back at Kendrick Perkins immediately on Twitter, saying, "What? This kid's nothing like me. He can't shoot."
Yeah.
Kendrick Perkins went back at him on the air, saying, "Yeah, have you washed yourself lately? Stay humble, youngin."
Oh, come on. I disagree with that.
Desmond Bain was top 5 in the NBA in 3-point percentage this year.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to talk playoffs, yeah, but he was hobbled a little bit, so that's a tough
Other comps that Kendrick Perkins threw out here in this NBA draft. Kevin Durant.
For who?
He put that out for Jabari Smith.
Jesus.
Giannis and Giannis and Kristaps Porzingis for Chet Holmgren. For Paulo Banchero, his comp was Michael Beasley and Ben Simmons.
Michael Beasley and Ben Simmons? Oh, yeah, he did. That's right. It's so weird, bro. Banchero can shoot.
Michael Beasley only is interested in shooting on offense, and that's it. And Ben Simmons, who refuses to shoot and will only play defense and pass the ball. And those are the two guys you compare him to. But wait, Terry, it gets worse. There was one that was even more insulting than that. So they compare Banchero to Ben Simmons. They compare Chet to Giannis. They compare Parker to Kevin Durant. Guess who they compared Mark Williams to, Terry?
If it's a guard, I'm leaving. Who?
His sister.
Hey,
showed
that's
footage
great.
of his sister at Duke next to him. And fucking Jay Billis is up here going, "Yeah, same body type. You can see the movement. Same great instincts." After they spent an hour comparing these prospects to NBA Hall of Famers, they get to the guy who is the second highest standing reach ever recorded in NBA history, and they compared him to a women's collegiate basketball player who can't dunk the ball.
So they didn't do an NBA conference?
No. They compared him to his sister.
What are we doing here? That's funny. That's funny. And I mean, look,
moment of the entire draft.
And I mean, look, they probably
shines the slideshow. It was just tremendous, man.
Look, they probably do play fucking almost the same. But my guy, he's going to the NBA. You're supposed to comp him to a fucking NBA player.
Everyone else got like Hall of Famer comps, and then you got like a women's collegiate basketball player.
Yeah, that shit's hilarious, man.
Oh, man.
Hey, man.
Well, we get to laugh at that. Oh. There was one person who wasn't laughing last night, and that was Jaden Hardy. Jaden Hardy was the number 2 overall recruit in the class of 21. He was wildly projected to be a top 5 pick before this season. He decided to go to the G League Ignite instead of playing for the in college or overseas. He really struggled to shoot the ball, to play defense, to pass. And he slipped all the way down to the second round, taken by the Mavericks at number 37. He was the first top 2 recruit to ever go in the second round since Josh McRoberts in 2007.
Yeah, the Kings drafted him, and they gave the rights to Dallas.
Yep. Compare that to Shaedon Sharpe, who was the number 1 player in next year's class for college. He reclassified and went to Kentucky. Wasn't eligible, didn't play all year long, was not able to play for Kentucky after reclassifying, and he goes number 7 to Portland.
Yeah, that's wild. Yo, what's up with these Kentucky guys, bro?
Dude, what's up with the G League? The G League just took a huge L. Why the fuck would I want to come? Ignite? Why would I want to come play for the G League Ignite team where I could lower my stock and go into second round when I can sit out a year and go into top 10? Or I can go to overtime elite and make $10 million, or I can go to Kentucky and get an NIL deal worth $7 million. Why the fuck would I make $300,000 a year playing for the G League Ignite, where I could fuck up my draft stock playing against a bunch of hungry, strong, grown men that are fighting for their NBA lives?
Yeah.
Bad look for the G League Ignite.
Here's the thing. I don't think you're totally wrong, because NIL is going to change the game. So NIL was, that was there before they really kind of had a choice of what to do. But I mean, there was 4 guys drafted from the G League this year?
2.
3?
I thought it was just those 2, Jaden Hardy and the guy who went to the Pelicans.
It was pretty low. I thought it was 3 at least. But I mean,
maybe, I don't know.
I don't know, man. To each their own, but if you're not going to college these days, you fucking up. Because you can make stupid money. Your boy Baycott, Armando Baycott, is about to make $50,000. And he's probably not even an NBA player. All right? So you need to go to the fucking NBA. Literally just endorsing Kane's Chicken.
Oh, okay. I was about to say that better not be his whole NIL deal. I was like, dude, I'll be your agent right now and negotiate you a better one. I got Hubert Davis' number on my phone right now, dog.
Right? No, he's just endorsing Kane's Chicken. That just got into Chapel Hill. It's not fair for people who don't know. And he's not even that good. He fucking sprained his ankle in the championship game, if you want to remember who that was. The guy who couldn't jump and still scored 20. But you got to go NIL, baby. These guys are making crazy money. I'm hearing dudes making $8 million. I'm hearing dudes making $500,000.
You could be like Shaden Sharp. I don't know what he made, but he didn't play a game for them, and he went number 7. Why the hell wouldn't I do that?
Bro. Hey, yo, what's up with Calipari, bro? A lot of these fucking Kentucky dudes, and I get some of them are all right. Like, Fox is all right, and Randall's okay. Some of these other motherfuckers. Name somebody better. Like, I feel like those two aren't
Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah. Decent.
John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins.
Those are way older, though. I'm talking about these new dudes, like 5 years in.
Willie Cauley-Stein.
I mean, he's older, too.
Wait a bit. Who were the identical twins they had?
Oh, the Morris twins?
No.
Oh, the Harrison
twins. Yep.
Oh God!
A blast and a pass. I don't who didn't remember they got drafted over Devin Booker, both of the Harrison twins, and they started over Devin Booker at Kentucky.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
they were sophomores. I'm thinking Tyler Hero.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Everyone who plays at Kentucky is better in the NBA. Like, he doesn't know how to use any of the people properly.
But yeah, Kentucky sucks. So it is what it is. I'm done. Calipari needs to get fired. That's all I'm saying.
All he cares about is like putting his dudes in the league. Like, I feel like he doesn't even care about winning national championships or like anything else, developing the dudes. Every player who came out of Kentucky like got to the NBA and they're like, yeah, I had all these skill sets that I wasn't allowed to use at Kentucky. Like, Karl Anthony Towns wasn't allowed to shoot jumpers, had to play back to basket the entire time. Bam Adebayo like that. Tyler Hero comes and blossoms. The examples are just numerous with them. The one guy who really left it all on the court was Tyler Ulis.
I mean, there's a lot of those guys that didn't do shit in the league at all, but that's a long list, but we won't go over that one.
Well, we can add
that's it?
nobody to that list for the New York Knicks since they didn't select anybody in this NBA draft. But you know what, Terry? The other 29 teams in the NBA did try to improve their teams this offseason. And so they'll probably have something to look forward to this summer besides attaching a pick so that somebody can take Evan Fournier off their hands.
Let's take the French guy number 1 next year. That's where we're going.
First of all, wait a minute. Before we go, Terry, the Knicks drafted Ousmane Dieng at 12. And for 90 seconds, we didn't know that he was going to get traded to the Thunder.
Yeah.
Now, Terry, the Knicks infamously took another French point guard not too long ago in the NBA.
Ntilikina.
What was going through your mind when you saw Ousmane Dieng is headed to the New York Knicks?
Ousmane Dieng? Shit. with the names that were left in the draft, I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And then I looked him up and I was like, all right, this guy's pretty fucking good. So for like 90 seconds, I went from like, I'm done with the Knicks. And then I was like, oh, you know what? This guy's actually pretty good. Then we traded him and I was like, all right, we're back. And then I was like, did they trade him to go back in the draft or do any of that? I'm looking up shit on the internet and just like, all right, so we're just done with the picks, huh? Well, fuck it. All right, whatever. I don't know, man. I don't know what they're doing. But with this team assembled as it is, Tankarama, baby. Tankarooski. Tank it up for the number 1 pick. Get the Frenchman. Or if we get Jalen Brunson, let's go for the playoffs.
Better not win.
It's either or.
Better not win for Wembanyama.
The season can go 2 ways. Go for the playoffs or tank it all. I don't know which way it's going to go.
I'm excited to watch you guys pay Jalen Brunson $35 million a season.
Let's go.
I'm excited to watch Tom Thibodeau get fired within the first 45 days of the season. And I'm excited to watch Cam Reddish seize control of the bench mob and jack up 17 shots a game a la Jordan Clarkson.
Way too early Cam Reddish prediction. All-star.
For the Shanghai Sharks. Oh, guys.
Yeah, man.
We hit a milestone.
Oh, we 500 up.
Now, Terry, I'll probably chop this up and put this somewhere else in the podcast. Thank you all very much for reaching our 500 subscribers this week. It's an important milestone for us, halfway to getting monetized. We're growing every week, trying to do more and more for the pod and put on a good show for you guys. And we really appreciate your support. So we're doing a fan giveaway. All right. This week, anyone who comments on our video, you got to like it and comment it. We're going to drop you into a drawing for a free Habitual Line-Steppers t-shirt. There are only 3 of these on the face of planet Earth. Terry has one, I have one, and so can you. So make sure you guys drop a like, drop a comment. We'll enter you in for the drawing, and we will announce the winner on next week's podcast episode. Yeah, we can't hear you, bud. Yeah, still can't hear Terry. Of course, we have some mechanical and microphone concerns near the end, but it wouldn't be the Habitual Line-Steppers podcast without it. So, once again, like, subscribe, and then you too can be the freshest kid at school with my face on your titties.
Thank you for listening to our podcast this evening. Thank you. You're far too kind.